We are live.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. What a great day to
A
be here
beautiful
today.
day.
It's
Yes,
so
it's
awesome.
beautiful.
So, tonight we have a fun packed conversation that we will be having tonight. But let me reintroduce myself. I am Dr. Cecilia Lynch, pediatric occupational therapist, and my co host, Jen.
Yes, I am the parent. So I'm a parent of two children that have special needs, and I am obsessed with sharing information about what I do to help me get through every day because it's always hard.
And as I always say, guys, this show, although we do it mostly for parents with children with disabilities and for caregivers of children with disabilities, this show is for everyone. It's for every parent because the techniques, the strategies, the tips that we discuss on this show, all parents can benefit,
For sure.
all caregivers can benefit. So please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can share our conversation with the world. There's so many people who have been reaching out to me and saying, Dr. Cecilia, I am loving what you and Jen are doing for parents every week, and that makes me feel super good. um, Jen, I know a lot of people haven't been reaching out to you just yet, but I know that people are grateful. They're really grateful for the information that we are given. And I'm grateful to be able to provide this information. And I'm grateful to have people like you, Jen, and other parents who are helping other parents as we build this community that we're creating here to serve. We're really here just to serve and provide information to parents and families and caregivers. So I am truly grateful. So tonight's topic is self care. And it's self care for parents and caregivers who have the daunting task of providing that extra care, because we know, like, yes, it takes a lot from parents, whether your child is typical or if your child has a disability. Parenting is a hard job. It doesn't matter, but there's another layer added when children have disabilities, and we can't deny that. So what we do is we try to provide that extra help in whatever form that we can. And right now, our format is this podcast that we're using to share information. So tonight we have two guests who are backstage who will be coming on. You last 2 weeks, you guys heard from Miss Alondra Mustafa, who is a parent advocate who is so knowledgeable about the different resources that are out there to help families. And she's so open with sharing her own story of her journey of being a mom with children with special needs. And tonight we have Miss Natavia Hawkins, who's going to be coming on to discuss about respite care and as well as discuss her story and her journey of being a mom with special needs. So we are going to have a good time tonight.
I'm ready for it. It's
And we're
Mother's
going to
Day
be
weekend
sharing,
coming up.
and that's right. It's Mother's Day weekend coming up. So these are tips for moms, moms to be, grandmas, aunties, other caregivers, like everyone, although it's Mother's Day,
Yep.
everyone is going to be able to learn how to provide some self care for themselves and how to get respite care. And we're going to learn more about exactly what respite care is because I am not 100% sure what respite care is, but we're going to learn more about that tonight. And so that everyone will, at the end of the show, will have tools in their toolbox of how to care for themselves, reduce stress, reduce burnout, and be able to find joy in their everyday activities. All right. So, Jen,
Hmm.
let's start with how was your day? Did you have a
My
good day?
day, my day was great. We are getting ready for the end of school, so I'm myself planning my little respite time, whatever time I can pick or take right now, with all of the end of school activities and prepping and bracing ourselves for summer, which is around the corner. So I had a good day. How was your day?
My day was really, really good. I am kind of like you, like prepping for summer, but for me, it's work prep.
Mm,
So it's like it in a way it's a little stressful.
okay.
And I must say, today, talking about self-care, I looked at my nails and I'm like, oh my goodness, no, I cannot walk around with my nails like this anymore. So I ended up going to the spa, the nail spa,
Woo!
to just take because you're busy doing work, but if you're not feeling, I know for me, if I'm not feeling pretty, I'm not I'm not feeling lady, like, stuff that ladies do. It's like it adds stress.
Right.
So I like to,
Yeah.
yes, I have a lot to do, but I just want to go get my nails done. So when I look at my hands, and plus I wash my hands a lot because working in healthcare is like I'm always washing my hands.
That's
So
right.
it was like my hands can look a real hot mess. So I'm like, you know what? I have to take care of myself. I
Yeah.
am going to the spa. So after work, I went to the spa. So I got home a little late. Um, but while I was there getting my nails done, I'm like, you know what? It's the little things
Yeah.
sometimes that brings just some joy,
Mhm.
or just give you that moment, that little zen. So
Yeah.
that's what I did today. That was my little zen moment.
Yeah, so I work in corporate America and I have a little cubicle and I don't see the windows ever. I don't even know when it's raining. Like it's quite funny. I have my mom who'll text me to let me know it's storming outside and it's like, oh crap, it's raining. But I will say that when I have an hour lunch break and just plugging in my headphones and going for a little stroll in the parking lot gives me that respite to be able to take a break. It breaks up the day where it's like I'm outside, I'm breathing, I'm getting fresh air, I'm seeing the sun or what the clouds, anything. It's like I'm outside of all of these screens and so that's something that I try to do every day, weather permitting, is to go outside, even if it's just to go sit down. If it's too cold to go walk around, then I'll just stand outside and get some fresh air, take some good deep breaths. It's something that's so easy to do, and we oftentimes, especially when we're stressed out, we forget to take those deep breaths. My son, who is on the spectrum, has now realized that I forget to take these deep breaths, and he'll say, "Mom, remember, take your deep breath." He'll say, "Smell the flowers, blow out the candles." And so he tells me to do it for 10 times, and that's what I trained him to do. So he helps me keep practice that and keep going. So I think that that's funny.
I think that's amazing because you know what? When we treat ourselves well and our kids see that we know how to take care of ourselves, it helps them.
It
It
gives them
helps them.
permission. It gives them
Hmm.
permission to do that, to be responsible, and you don't need an adult or someone to tell you what to do. Granted, I love the fact that he's able to pick up on personality, or my personality, or I would say like some social traits, which is something that children on the spectrum struggle with, is acknowledging how someone else feels. And to me, that meant so much more, is that he was able to see this, that I was visibly stressed out, and he stopped what he was doing to come and walk over and let me know that I needed to take a deep breath. But
That's
yeah, so it was a
amazing.
beautiful moment between us, and just the fact that he feels like that's something that works for him because he's sharing it with me. So, it's just a beautiful thing. All of us permission to just be, feel, and it's okay, but it's also a moment to take to come back to it, if you will.
And a lot of people don't realize, because a lot of times we talk about self-care and people are thinking, oh, I don't have time to go get my nails done. I don't have time to go to the
Guilty.
spa. I don't have time to do this. But those 5 minutes deep, or even 3 minutes deep breathing, just saying affirmations,
Mm-hmm.
or saying gratitude statements. Research has shown that just doing those things lower blood pressure.
Yeah.
So parents out there who are listening, don't always feel like you have to find bucos of time to take care of yourself.
Right.
Those little tips that Jen is mentioning, going for walks, just going outside and getting fresh air, doing deep breathing. I have a little thing that I do sometimes when I'm feeling anxious. I go on YouTube, and they have little 5 minute meditations.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite ones to listen to is a young lady. Her name is Jessica Heslop. Now, I'm just putting her name out there. I don't know her. I don't get
You're not
credit.
affiliated.
I'm not
No
affiliated
affiliations.
at all. But she has like a 5 minute everything for anything you're feeling. She has it for you to just boost your confidence. She has it to relieve stress. She has it to calm your mind. So if I'm feeling a certain way, I can go in, I go on YouTube, I type in Jessica Heslop meditation, and just 5 minutes. Just take 5 minutes of my time, and I know it works, because it's like it resets my mind to be wherein I am not, because a lot of times I'm feeling anxious and I don't know why. Why am I feeling
Yeah.
anxious? Everything is fine. Where are these feelings of anxiety coming from?
Yeah.
So really just taking a little time to do a 5 minute practice,
Um,
that's a great thing.
yeah, as I'm a single mom, and so I know that for me, I feel like I never have enough time ever. And so one thing that I've learned is time blocking. So if I feel like within the next few days, if I just need a bath, or I just need to be able to relax or sleep in, and so I time block it. Like I had a weekend like that this past weekend, and we already had plans to go to this Hot Wheels car show. So I woke up, we were there by 8 a.m. But I had time blocked that by the time when we got home, I was going to get them, their fast food, because it's a weekend and they're allowed to do that. And so I blocked it, and I said, I'm going to take a nap, and alarm is on, and you're safe, but I need a nap. So that was something that I woke up from that, refreshed. I cleaned the house, did all the things that I was supposed to do, but it's just that time blocking, because then if I didn't do that, I was going to go straight into cleaning, then grocery shopping. I was going to be grumpy, have a good attitude or not a positive attitude for the kids. I was probably going to have, little to no nerves or whatever. It just wasn't going to be a good thing. And it's like taking that hour is what I took didn't change anything. I still was able to get them to bed on time. I get to have them fed and everything. So I think time blocking, if you're one of those people that is just like, I don't have the time, it's just saying from this time to this time, I'm blocking it, just like you would lunch or breakfast or whatever, meetings, if you have a ton of those. Yeah.
Well, great. You always have great tips.
Thank you.
Time blocking. So pretty much making the time,
Yeah.
setting the time that you're going to do
Be
this.
intentional. Be
Mhm.
intentional. It's you're taking care of yourself. It's like the thing that they say, and I think Alondra is the one that said it this past weekend. Is she said you can't put on the oxygen mask, or you can't put it on to someone else, is what they say on the airplanes. You have to put it on first, and then you can take care of someone else. And it's like I just needed my mask on Saturday. I was tired. And so I just was like, I'm gonna go take a nap. And I'll even if I didn't get laundry done that day, I still had Sunday. But I gave myself permission, I think is the number one thing. And then second is being intentional. And me being intentional towards myself. Because I can get my kids to birthday parties, anything on time. But when it comes to me, I always push it back until I can't. And yeah, it's hard, but time blocking.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that like when I first met you, you were a little bit more frazzled with
Oh yeah,
you're a little bit more frazzled with everything.
yeah,
And um d- there is something to be said about seeking professional help. You know, like
yes,
it's okay. Like a lot of people don't want to um, speak to a counselor, or they don't want to have like share with a confidant or someone, or say their pastor. They just don't want to share. What would you say about just seeking help from someone who's a professional or in authority, or um, is
yeah,
faith based?
yeah. I don't have a good story to share. I had to hit rock bottom before. And when I say that, it's like more of myself. I really let myself go because I was just pouring myself and trying to get answers. Because that's a whole nother world. It's a whole nother animal to try to navigate. And but I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today without having the proper tools to be able to push myself. So it goes back to permission. I think I don't think that we give ourselves enough grace to be able to. We don't give we don't. I don't. I think we're as humans we're very hard on ourselves. We're harder on ourselves than we are on other people, and we don't listen to our own advice. So that's something that I've been doing is I give my like I talk to myself like a friend, if you will, or I think to
Mhm.
myself like a friend. And it's like, what would I say to my friend if she were going through all of this? I would tell her that she needs to relax, let God take the wheel, or you know what I mean? Like it's fine, move on, or not move on, but just find tools or resources. So permission is what I would say. Give yourself grace. To be able to be your friend first, I suppose, before so that you can give yourselves permission and then you can seek therapy. That would be one way.
Yeah. So, but what I would say to people, and Alondra spoke about that last week, and I'm going to bring her on um, in a few. But she said, don't wait till you hit rock bottom
Yes.
to look for help. Don't wait.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times that's when people really look for help, when they have hit gone down the ladder all the way down into the pits. That's when they look for help. All right, so anyway, Alondra is with us. I'm going to bring her on. And welcome, Alondra. Thank
Hi,
you for
everybody.
coming on. And we have another guest, Tay Hawkins, who is also a mom of children with special needs. So tonight we'll have moms just sharing what they do to help relieve some of the stress. And then Alondra and Tay will talk about respite and what that is and how parents can access it and can use it. So I'm going to bring on Tay as well.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Alondra. Hello, Tay. It's so nice having all these wonderful parents that and I'm so blessed to know that I have served and worked with all three of you in different capacities, and I'm so grateful that you guys are on this journey to really just help parents, just help other parents, just providing information. So tonight we're talking about, all right, it's stressful. We know it's stressful. There are moments of severe stress sometimes. I mean, yes, it's beautiful and we have great times, but we have a lot of stress. And stress is, I think, to me, it's the number one cause of death and
For
disease.
sure.
So, Alondra, we'll go first with you. So, what are your stress busting mechanisms? Like, what do you do?
What do I do? Sometimes I do what I'm doing right now, especially during COVID. I take a ride with everybody in the car.
I did
I
that during
just,
COVID.
or I do like the drive-through car washes because nobody has to get out, but the kids love it. I did that during COVID a lot, but I just need to get out. I can't always physically get everybody out because I have two boys in wheelchairs, so it's a little bit difficult in and out with all the equipment. But just physically getting out, I'll put the window down. I'll put the air run through my fingers, my face, and then I'll put some music on. Open the sunroof. It's funny because you guys caught me, and I was driving with all the kids in the car because I don't have anybody right now to help me with them. My mother-in-law's sick, so I am in need of respite right now, and this is my respite break. So yes.
Okay, that's nice. If you know what, going for a drive, we say going for a walk, but I remember, I mean, and this was just me like blowing steam off. It's like I would go for a drive, and it's funny. It's like when you're driving, you're supposed to be paying attention to the road. But I know for a lot of people, it's like when you're driving, you're in a different zone. You're not even realizing because it's like you're driving is such second nature that for a lot of people, driving is when they think. It's when they think about the different things that they have to do, especially being in Atlanta where we drive far, we have a lot of time to really think. So that's awesome. What about you, Tay? Anything that you do as a stress reliever?
Um, I think what I started doing was putting myself first. And I made about maybe a year and a half ago that I got me a mental health professional for my stress, anxiety, and I got meds as needed when I needed it. Because if I don't take care of myself and I die because of the stress, then that's no good for nobody. And I start making time on purpose. I didn't care if somebody was stanky and didn't have a bath. Too bad, buddy. Making time. If my husband needed something and he just could not wait for me to do, we had to have that coming to Jesus moment. Like, I hear you. I know this needs to be done. But if you can't wait until I do it, you can do it or it has to wait because we'll just go and go. And I do it now. Sometimes, like today, I climbed on the bed on my knees and I just put my head down because I was feeling a little nauseous. And I was just like, yo, don't do nothing else today. It doesn't matter. what don't get done. So I purposely make sure I keep things in the refrigerator that the kids can quickly make, whether they want to or not. If it's peanut butter jelly, it's peanut butter and jelly. If it's chicken nuggets, it's chicken nuggets. If I feel and have the energy to cook a meal, because my kids used to me cooking, I will. But if not, there's something in there for you to make. Um, and just learning how to gracefully say no, because with us, I don't know about you guys, you go to church and people, oh, can you do this and can you do that? I just had to start learning how to put a smile on my face and say no. Oh gosh, you'll be so great at it. No.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because people see you for a snippet. It could be family or somebody else. Like, family loves to come in for the holidays and they see this little snippet of your life and they think they have it all figured out and know what you really deal with. And I'll say, I just had surgery, right? Got my ankle broken and New Year's Eve. My mother moved in December the 1st and she just went home, last week. She has a whole new perspective of what her daughter deals with, because she was getting that little snippet when her grandchildren came for the weekend, or that little snippet when they came for holidays. But when she lived day in and day out, there were days my mother would drop my child off from school and she would stay gone to 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, Mom, where were you? Guess what? It was too much. So that was her way of turning that switch off, because she couldn't be in the house. Right? But we have to be here. So I know for my husband, he goes in a whole nother world. I don't know how he do it. He'll turn on a movie and we could be screaming to the top of our lungs. He's drawn into the movie. He tells me that's his escape. So I was like, okay, I got to get my escape. If I can't escape, how can I get escape in the house? I'm a woman. I'm not like a man. We hear the kids holler, we going, what is it? They like, yo, they okay. They're not bleeding, and so it's that mom instinct that happens. So I'm like, okay, I got to get to where I be like, yo, they're not bleeding, they're going to survive, So, but just getting that time and being on purpose, and no matter who thinks what I can do, to know I can say no. I'm sorry. My pastor even's like, you're the person to be over our special needs. Yeah, I just know it. I don't know if the Holy Spirit told him, who told him. He just knew it. But I let him finish, and I said, I can't help you, buddy. I'm not the one. He said, oh my dear. He said, oh my dear sister, I just know. I don't know what you know, buddy, but God ain't told that to me. I'm sorry. And I went to breaking down to him everything I had on my plate. He said, oh my dear sister, you really can't do it. I said, oh no, I can't. So it's just learning, even when people, because some people can be kind of pushy or what they feel that you can do. You got to know your body and listen to your body. I tell my youngest, both my kids are neurodivergent, like, you got to know what makes you tick or click and know your body. And, even we go to the doctor tell her, well, you shouldn't feel such. I put my hand up to the doctor. I said, don't you never, and I tell my daughter, respectfully, don't never let nobody tell you how you feel and how your body feels. Advocate for that. Speak up with respect, because it is an adult, but don't never let nobody put on you that you feel this way. No. Don't nobody know. You explain it. And, even teaching her now that you have a voice. And I had to learn that I had a voice. You can't always get respite. There's so many respite providers out there, but a lot of them, I'm a respite provider, but I know my limits. If I do respite and I come home to my daughter, I'd be like, so you have to know your limits on what you can and can't do, no matter what it is if it's personal or for work or whatnot, and get the breaks, because at the end of the day, we make everything roll, the moms.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is, and from everyone, is pretty much give yourself permission to do what you feel is best for you.
For sure.
And that is giving yourself power as well,
And standing in your power by setting boundaries. This is stand in your power and say, no, I cannot do that. It's something that I'm practicing right now. It's hard. It's hard to not be able to be there for everyone. So I love that you shared that. Thank you.
Mhm.
That is amazing because that's something that a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah.
Just not being able to say no. And then it just becomes so stressful. It's funny because my mentor, Dr. Laxley, he said to me the other day, he's like, Cecilia, you always just say no. And I said, what I've been doing lately to work on this for myself is as soon as I hear it coming, I'm already I'm already my brain just go no. And it's funny. It might it the thing is it might be something that could be beneficial to me, but the type of person I am, once I say yes to something,
Yeah.
I can never go back and say no.
Yeah.
But if I say no first, I can always go back and say, hey, I thought about what you said. Yes, I can do that for you. Right? Because once I say yes, I'm committed and I'm going to give it my all to whatever I said yes to.
Yeah.
So
And even I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Miss
go
Cece.
ahead, Tay.
For instance, I'm the choir director at my church, the children's choir director. Go figure, right? All right. So after I get back on my feet, I go back, and my first weekend back is Easter weekend. It's big and everybody's performing, and I got this boot on, and I got the walker. But while I was out, I said it's gonna be a new day. I understood I was doing too much, and that parents really wasn't appreciating and didn't know the sacrifice and the extra stress I was putting on me to make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I come back, it's a new day. We start having rehearsal. I make my purpose to be on time and to finish on time. So I had people coming in at the end of rehearsal, and I said, okay, let's have a word of prayer. And they're looking like, oh, you might well go and back to your parents. Let's pray. hmm Thank you, Lord. And rehearsal's over. So I had one parent come to me. She said, oh my goodness. I said, I have a family just like you. Just like you guys. I have a husband. So honey, I got a man like y'all. I have children with needs. Your family is no more important than mine. I volunteer my time to work with your child. And at least you could do is try to show up and have your children here.
Right.
If they're not here, they will miss it. I live an hour from our church, so I'm not going to be getting home at 10:30, 11:30 at night no more. Then have to be back to church the next morning. So I set the boundary. To them, it may be harsh, but for my health and my
Yes.
well-being, I said, okay, I'm not going to, Lord, you told me to continue to be the choir director. I'm not going to step away from this, but we're going to change up some things. We're going to put boundary on some things. And if that means I lose some kids, guess what? I lose some kids. Because people will just figure, oh, they're going to do it. And this is another thing of a boundary. So I did not drop it and say no. I just changed up on how I did it. So it
Right.
could be some things that you're doing that you can still do, but you may have to alter some of that
Right.
for your mental health space, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So it would be like you're modifying the no. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm still doing my volunteer work, but
Mhm.
it's within these hours. It's not
Mhm.
ongoing. It's not whenever you come, I
Mhm.
serve you. No, I'm serving between these hours. And you
Mhm.
know what? It's funny, but sometimes, and I always tell people, don't get angry at other people when they do things that are like that may look ungrateful, or it may look harsh, because a lot of times those same parents, they're dealing with issues. We don't know what their issues are, right?
Mhm.
They're dealing with issues as well, and it didn't even cross their mind that you are on a different schedule and you have different issues than their issues, because some people are so preoccupied with their own that
Mhm.
they don't know how to think that about somebody else. So hopefully by you saying that, that parent is now be like, oh yeah, Tay is right. I
Yeah.
can't just bring my kid at the end and expect her to stay extra because I came late. Like sometimes
And
it just
I actually, Miss CC, I typed up a little contract, and the contract was like 7 things. Really, in general, most of them the parents already knew. But I had one parent. She said, "Oh, it's just not fun anymore." I said, "Did your kids say it's not fun anymore?" Well, no, with all these things, I said we have to have order. And I
yeah,
said, we have to have rules. Our parents will just do what they want. And she looks at
exactly.
me and I said, do you know my first rehearsal back? My husband hurt his back at work. He came home in pain. But because I had been out for 4 months and I knew my assistant was at her limit, it was my first rehearsal back. I made sure my husband was okay. But I'm thinking about him on my way driving, calling him, making sure he's okay. And then I get here and I have 3 kids, one mine, two brother, sister. We start on time. I said, so I finished on time because I have another obligation. And she looked at me, said, you mean to tell me you came and your husband? I said, yes. Because
Right.
if I dedicate myself, I do it,
Hmm.
but it's in this parameter. And if your kids don't know the song, they won't get up and perform. It's okay if you want to come at the end, but this contract is you understanding that if they don't know the songs, they don't know what they need to know, that come day on church, you don't not come crying to me or your kids, because it's the rule that it's not fair for the other children to practice and be ready and for the ones that don't, because we all have things going on. That's what I told her. Everybody has something different going on. My story is no better
Hmm.
than yours and the next, but we all have to sacrifice and get our kids here if they're going to be in it. If they play football, if they play basketball, whatever they do, you could be a soccer mom. You got to be at rehearsal. They got to have the uniform. They got the games. All of it falls on the parent when they're young. And so, you have to sit down and have a talk with your kids sometime. Go, you know what, mom can't do this. I've had to do it. My daughter, she want to be in everything. I said, listen, these are your choices. You need to prioritize because I'm not finna fall out.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know
we
what I mean?
have parents, yeah, and that's another thing too. It's not just saying no to people who you work with or the pastor or church. It's saying no to the kids. We have to tell them no as well in order to take some of the stress off. We have,
Hmm.
and again, sometimes in that case, we have to modify the no. It's not a full on no, but we have to modify it so that we can de-stress ourselves, but still meet their needs somewhat.
Yes.
So it's a balancing act. But it sounds like I think we're all doing our best to reduce stress. And I think lately, and I must give social media a lot of props for this because there's so many people now who are really taking the stigma out of mental health and really understanding that mental health is health, and not because someone looks to try to get assistance from a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor or a pastor or whoever can, or a social worker, whoever can help them in improving their mental health. That is actually a powerful thing to do. Getting mental health care is power, and self care is not a luxury. Self care is a necessity. So
Right.
it's very important for us to take care of ourselves mentally and physically so that we can better take care of our children. When it comes to respite, and I don't know who wants to answer this question, Tay or Alondra, what is the difference between respite and a babysitter?
Well, for me, respite is a person that is knowledgeable about what's going on with my child. You have different diagnoses. It could be Down syndrome, autism, or whatever. For me, the respite provider has to have some type of training and knowledge about what's going on with my child, because I can't leave my child with just a regular babysitter who doesn't understand them, because that's not going to give me the mental break that I need. The
Yeah.
mental break is going to come from, okay, I know they got it, they understand, I can go get my hair done or whatever it is. But one of the best respites for me is, I haven't had in a long time, is just getting with another group of moms that understand what I deal with. Like all of us on here understand, right?
Right.
So this, in essence, is a stress reliever, to be able to talk and another mom shake her head like, yeah, like I'm talking and I see you shaking your head and I see you laughing, shaking your head, because
Yeah.
we all emotionally understand that. It's different when you give it your girlfriend who has typical children and she go, oh man, I'm sorry, I hate that for you. She don't get it. It's not the same chemistry there. So that's something. I know they used to have support groups and things, and I think they still do, but actually getting with some moms that that you can grow a bond with, and being intentional about, hey, it may be worth some money. We just go, I don't drink liquor, but I can go with somebody for drinks and I get some coffee or whatever,
Yes.
and just shoot the breeze. And like, girl, this month, let me tell you, that type of thing kind of helps. Um,
Mhm.
I know a friend of mine has something called G. It's called Girls Night Out. I don't know if she still does it, but they used to go out once a month in Gwinnett County, and I would go, but I haven't done it in so long. And they would pick nice restaurants. I mean, Bahama Breeze, different places. I mean, it would be like 20, 25 women, just everybody looking forward to getting together, letting their hair down, just no children, no husbands, that type of thing. I know that's off the subject, but to me, respite is somebody that understands the disability versus a babysitter who just be there watching them.
Right. It's about building a community of women that just support each other and get it.
As far as for me for respite, it's the same everything like Tay. I know that most respite care providers, they have like an intake form that they take over the children. So the difference between the regular babysitter and a respite care would be that that it's something that's done purposefully. Most of the time, it's not like last minute. It's something that's scheduled, something that's set on a certain day. It's something that, like I said, they take an intake form, so they take information from before. And most of the providers are like CPR, first aid trained. They have certain qualifications. A lot of times, you'll get special ed teachers or therapists that also provide respite. So there's just a little bit different level of care because I don't know, as a parent I just feel a little bit more secure, like, oh, god forbid, like my child, he's 12 but he sticks everything in his mouth. He still mouths everything. God forbid he choke on something, there's somebody there to perform CPR, more so
Hmm.
than if I hired the teenager down the street that could watch the kids for possibly the same price, because usually respite, they try to make it affordable for parents too, and that she could watch him, but she wouldn't know what to do. She wouldn't know what to do if my child has epilepsy, the older one. If he had a seizure, she probably would be in shock. Like, it's not something that she's probably ever experienced. And the people that usually provide respite, they've been in those situations.
Right.
So they might handle the situation. Well, I would hope that they would handle the situation differently.
Okay. Because okay, so the individuals who provide respite care are typically people who understand various disabilities, are CPR trained. They're back more than likely have background checks
Yes,
done.
fingerprints.
Okay, and that is what makes the difference, because as Tay was saying, parents, if you're leaving your kid with someone, you're not getting you're more stressed if it's not a person who will handle stuff. So then it would be futile to just say just a regular babysitter anyway. you want to ensure that the person you're leaving your child with is able to handle whatever comes up, and not necessarily you guys feeling more stress about who is there, because then it won't be respite. Because respite is like giving you that real true time for yourselves, so you want to be able to enjoy that to the max and um, get the most out of it. So where do parents go to get respite?
I always suggest to parents, first stop would be parent to parent. Parent to parent is like, I don't know if people know what a phone book is, but like a directory
Oh
of
yeah.
basically all the services for Georgia, because we're in the state of Georgia. You can actually go in there, put your location and everything, and they'll like put together a whole list. This for me is usually a good place because you can find something locally around you. There's also special needs respite that I talked about last week. This is a good play. This is a good resource because it's a scholarship that they will give you as a parent 4 times, I believe, a year, and the amount is for 400 every 3 months, and you can reapply every 3 months, and you can pick the person you want to care for your kids. They just have to sign up through the portal and everything, and the payment goes directly to them. So this can be this they wouldn't have like a fingerprints or anything, but it can be somebody, if you live like in the rural area, that it's a little bit more difficult to find people who could provide respite, because sometimes it's more difficult for people in rural areas versus suburbs or people in the city to be able to find providers or people that are qualified. You could easily maybe have grandma or somebody, but they would get compensated. So this would be a nice option as well, because this is everywhere. There are a couple of organizations that I like, and I'll just kind of throw them out there. Like Focus, they do a respite Saturday, so they have a special date every couple of months, and they're like, hey, respite's coming up, you have to pre-register and everything, and it's something that you can mentally prepare and get ready, get your kids ready, and you have a couple of hours, and it's usually that same as like a school day hours. So it's not everything overnight, but it is a couple of hours, and they usually work on donations. I know that Spectrum also does respite as well. Um, as far as some of the organizations that I know. But like I said, parent to parent is a good place that they can help direct you towards one that's locally around you. Because what good is it for me to mention these organizations if they're 4 hours away from you, their location? You know.
Right.
Right.
So going to parent website, which I think is parent, the number two parent.org. Um, that website can give parents at least a start of where to look to find respite care. And respite is definitely something that all families should look into, because it's one of those tools. It's one of those tools to give parents a break. So definitely um, look into getting respite. Look into being able to have someone that can come to your home, or can the parents drop, do they have like respite where the parents can drop the children off as well?
They do, and that's what I was talking about. Certain organizations that, like Focus or Spectrum, where they have a set location. Like Spectrum, they do it once a month, one day a month, and it's usually at a. They work together with a church, so it's at a church in Duluth, as far as the one that I know of. And you physically go to that location, you drop off your children, and most of these locations with respite, they'll charge you, maybe it'll be free or they'll charge you a small fee, and siblings are welcome as well.
Okay.
So that's something nice because like I have 4 kids myself, yes. So I get to go off. I get to put two there. But what about my 1-year-old and my 4-year-old? You know, so they get
Yeah.
to go as well.
Okay, so with the respite, they'll take it's not just for the children with special needs. They'll take your typically developing children as well, so
That,
that you can get a full break for yourself.
Yeah, and not
Oh,
and
all
that's
that's
locations.
awesome.
usually, from my experience, that's usually the group rested, like people like Focus and Spectrum and the ESP, different places like that. But if you do individual respite, usually that individual is just there for the child.
Yeah.
But the group respite, they allow siblings to come along. But if it's like a private respite and it's just an individual, let's say coming to your house, more than likely it's just for your child. That's some of the experiences I've had.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah, she's right.
it gives parents a break, and it allows parents to be able to de-stress some. I think one of the things that Tay was mentioning when we spoke about respite, and she mentioned that girls' night out. Um, what that really is community building, right, Jen?
Yep.
And um, we need more of that, and that's what I want from us doing what Jen and I are doing in having this podcast, is really building a community and helping people build smaller communities within communities, right? Like just getting us one to broaden out and network, but at the same time bring us closer to form like a niche so that we can really be there for each other. And the community is not just parents. We want the service providers, we want the caregivers, we want the specialists, we want everyone who our children need to be there in this community. So what we try to do here, and what my mission is to cover every topic possible as it pertains to being parents and caregivers and family members of children with disabilities, because we're forming a community for our children, right? And with our children.
Yes.
And this topic, the self-care topic, was actually Alondra's idea to talk. She's like, Cece, can we talk about self-care? And I found it so fitting for us to talk about it right before Mother's Day.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I definitely want to wish all the moms who are listening, all the grandmoms, all the stepmoms, all the moms who are substitute moms, want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day.
Love that.
Alondra, anything? We're going to get ready to close. Anything in closing for tonight?
No, I just wanted to remind, sometimes the mom doesn't look as your biological mom. There's adoptive moms, foster moms, grandmoms, just wanting to celebrate everybody. And I had one more resource. It's called Grands, and it's also a resource for they provide respite, but they help connect grandparents and foster parents and adoptive parents with respite care. So that's another resource as well. But they find the providers for you. So just wanted to say that moms looks a little bit different for everybody, but it might not even be a mom. Maybe it might be a dad. But congratulations to everybody, and you guys have a happy Mother's Day.
All right. Thank you so much for
Happy
that.
Mother's Day.
Tay, tonight is your first night. Hopefully it won't be your last night. Tay would love to, well, Tay, if you don't mind me sharing, like Tay is working on how to help to provide respite to families during church. right? You want to say a little bit more about what you are working on,
Um,
Tay, to
well,
help
I
families?
everything is official. Mac is official from the Secretary of State. I got everything today. So
Woohoo!
we are
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
got the EIN number and all of that good stuff. But um right now I'm going through exactly how I will do it because churches are worried about being liable for people suing, and you're working with different individuals with disabilities. But I'm also it's a passion for me because a lot of people don't go to church because it's just too much and it's nobody, to be able to do. And so but this requires building a team. But I'm also doing some job coaching. That's part of it too, where I go out and do work with individuals, adults who have jobs, and try and help them keep their jobs. And so that's another thing that I do. So it's just kind of building as I go. If anybody on here has a business, which I think the two of you do, you start small and you build up and you figure things out. And so I'm finding out that some of the work that I do for other people, if I do it for myself, I'll make more money. The other people are only paying you a fraction of what you're doing. And so sometimes that realization just hits you like, "God, I'm already doing, XYZ." And
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's just, knowing your worth and again, those boundaries. But that is really what Mac is about. It's about respite, and not so much individual respite. It's about that group setting for the social skills and everything. Um, I'm pretty sure some people will come on board that will do individual respite, but I know for me, I do individual respite every day in my home with my children. So
Well, thank
I
you
need
so
something a
much.
little different.
Thank
So
you all for what you do, and it's amazing that here we have moms. Maybe that could be the name of our show instead of School Life Ready Talks, because when I formulated the my program, my show, it was about the frustration that I was seeing parents having getting their kids ready for school and dealing with school and dealing with everything that has to do with special ed. And I felt like, oh my goodness, I have to do something to help families with that. But then it grew beyond that, wherein it's now moms on a mission. It's like we're moms on a mission to
Yeah.
help other moms, and so I am so
and I
grateful.
can think of a thing too, Cece. I know one of the stressors that I'm facing now, that we're facing, is that a lot of times we can't work traditional jobs, but we still have bills. And
Mhm.
so finding ways to still have some type of employment while we are the caregivers, because this doesn't stop after they graduate from high school. I got one coming out in 2 weeks, and really life is just beginning. And
Mhm.
those tougher areas get started because you don't have the school. They're not going back to school in August. And okay,
Mhm.
what are you going to do and how are you going to handle those situations? So there's a lot of parents out there that are, struggling. I know at my job we get calls. They're struggling because they want to work and make money. And so the
Right.
stress of the financial stress of things that has effect on your mental health as well. So, finding some avenues and working out something that, the state to relieve these families so they can at least be able to go to work.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
that's another topic that we will undertake. and,
Yes,
and
please.
and Alondra, you will help us find resources.
Yes, she will.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys
I'm on
so
it.
much. Jen, take us out.
Oh, well, I want to say that my takeaway from this is setting boundaries, starting small, giving yourself permission, and just being nice to yourself like you would your friends, please. But everyone, please like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you for being here tonight. Good night.
Oh
Bye.
my gosh. Thank you
Thank
guys so
you.
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Thank you so much. All right. Have a good night, and we will see you all next Tuesday at 7:30. Good night, everyone.